Hi there, Gwyneth from Feel Good Coaching and Consulting, and I hope you have had an absolutely amazing week. My week, I have to tell you, has been absolutely amazing. 3 workshops, and yesterday I had the privilege and the honour of addressing about 170 human resources managers, talking to them about emotional intelligence and why it's so important with staff engagement. And that's what I want to talk to you a little bit today about on this fabulous Feel Good Friday, because regardless of whether you're an employee or a manager or whatever it is you call yourself, staff engagement is a big issue. It has to do how motivated, how inspired you are to do your job, how much you love to do your job. Because when Gallup started measuring staff engagement quite a few years ago, well, actually the first statistics came out in around 2000. And the worldwide average is that only between 13 and 15% of employees are actively engaged, i.e. they really love what they do. That's absolutely shocking, absolutely shocking. And that's in the past 15 or 16 years. That statistic has barely moved. So one of the questions, or one of the things I put to these HR managers yesterday was, how many of you actually use coaching as a management tool? And very few people put their hands up. Now, whilst I find that quite sad, because if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know how much I love coaching. I mean, coaching has completely transformed my life, my work. And when I go and do a workshop, when I go into an organization, it's by using coaching that I get the interactivity and then I get the fabulous feedback, which I'm very grateful for. Thank you. But it's all about empowering the other person. It's all about inspiring and motivating the other person, because when you do that, then the staff engagement begins to increase. Let me give you an example. Okay, I'm going to assume you do not like it when somebody comes to you and says, do this, do that, get that finished, boom. Don't talk to me, leave me alone, and get on with it. Now imagine if your boss, or if you said to your colleagues, so this is the outcome we want, this is the result that we need, how can we do it? And brainstorm and take a few ideas, and there might be a better way of doing things. Yes, it takes a little bit longer, but I know that if you take that approach, the people you are working with are much more likely to work together as a team. Even if you're not a boss, even if you're not a manager, but you're in a position in a meeting where you've got to brainstorm a project or something, instead of saying, right, this is a checklist, this is what we've got to do, ask yourself, what could I potentially be doing differently this time? And ask it of your colleagues. Have you got any ideas? So when I left this conference yesterday, I was a little bit nervous actually when I started, because it was running late, and the conference was due to finish at 4, and it was quite warm, and I didn't actually start talking until after 4. But I'm very happy to say that most people stayed until I had finished, and a couple of people even came up to me afterwards and said, they wanted to know more about emotional intelligence and that they were actually quite interested. But what's really also interesting about this is that when I asked at the end of my short presentation if anybody had any questions, nobody put their hand up. And again, it comes back to the fact that we put this facade, we put this face on when we're at work. We try and pretend to be professional, to be somebody else. Yes, I know exactly what I'm doing, and I'm capable of following instructions. When actually, in fact, what it is, it's about how you feel. Are you making a contribution? Do you feel good about what you're doing? And Maya Angelou, I'm sure you know, very famous lady, civil rights activist, the late Maya Angelou now, unfortunately. But what she said, something very, very important. She said, people will forget what you said, and people will forget what you did, but people will never forget the way that you made them feel. Now, if you're a manager or if you're not a manager, it doesn't matter. But when you go about communicating with people next week, think about how you are making them feel. Are you being very professional and we all know what we're talking about and there's no need to do this feely, touchy, woo-woo stuff at work? Or are you prepared to actually think, what could I do to make this person's day better? What could I do to make my day better? Okay, I know I'm asking lots of questions, but coaches ask lots and lots of questions. So I wish you a fabulous Feel Good Friday, a fabulous weekend. I shall talk to you again very soon. Lots of love and bye for now.